I have titled my presentation Effects of an OVO Injection of 25-hydroxy vitamin D3 in conjunction with Marek's disease vaccine on hatchability and hatch variables of Ross 708 broilers. I will start off by discussing an OVO injection. An OVO injection is successfully administered into the amnion or body proper. A 2.49 centimeter depth of the needle is required to reach the amnion. Administration is recommended between 17.5 and 19 days of incubation. The benefits of an OVO injection are it is safer, less labor intensive, and it provides uniform vaccination. Now I will discuss vitamin D3. Once vitamin D3 is ingested, it will be absorbed in the small intestine. Then it will go to the liver where it will become 25-OHD3, and this will stimulate calcium absorption. Then, once it reaches the kidney, it will be converted to 125-dihydroxy vitamin D3, which is the active form. Dietary supplementation of vitamin D3 has been shown to increase calcium and phosphorus absorption in the small intestine. Dietary and an OVO of vitamin D3 has been shown to increase calcium, phosphorus, and 25-OHD3 serum concentrations. Dietary supplementation of 25-OHD3, due to its longer half-life and stability, has been shown to increase satellite cell activity and muscle size. An OVO injection of 0.6 micrograms of 25-OHD3 at 18 days of incubation has been shown to increase serum 25-OHD3 concentrations, as well as have a longer effect on bone formation and mineralization. An OVO injection of 2.4 micrograms of 25-OHD3 at 18 days of incubation has been shown to increase hatchability, increase hatchling quality, decrease late embryonic mortality, improve life performance such as feed conversion ratio, body weight and body weight gain, increase meat yield, improve small intestine morphology, and improve humoral immunity and inflammatory responses. An OVO administration of Marek's disease vaccine is effectively administered at 18 days of incubation. Marek's disease vaccine is also administered similarly to that of vitamin D3. FC126 strain is the strain of Marek's disease vaccine that was used. It is an attenuated live strain. Marek's disease vaccine has been shown to have around a 94% protection when administered into the amnion or body proper. And to date, Marek's disease vaccine has not been used in combination with any supplemental nutrients. However, the objectives of this study were to determine the influence of the in OVO injection of various levels of 25-OHD3 in combination with Marek's disease vaccine on broiler hatchability, hatch residue, and hatchling body weight. The solutions prepared for this study were various concentrations of 25-OHD3, which were dissolved in 40 milliliters of distilled water. 25-OHD3 was able to dissolve in the water due to Robamix High D, which is a water-soluble powder. The various concentrations of 25-OHD3 were then transferred to 400 milliliters of commercial MDV diluent. The full dose of Marek's disease vaccine was added. and the eggs were injected with 50 microliters of each sample. Full 25-OHD3 and Marek's disease vaccine compatibility had been previously established. The 5 in ovo injection treatments were non-injected, diluent, which only contained the Marek's disease vaccine, 0.6 micrograms per egg of 25-OHD3 in combination with Marek's disease vaccine, 1.2 micrograms per egg of 25-OHD3 in combination with Marek's disease vaccine, and 2.4 micrograms per egg of 25-OHD3 in combination with Marek's disease vaccine. (1,800) eggs were assigned to 5 treatments randomly arranged on each of the 6 replicate tray levels. The eggs were then incubated in the Chickmaster single-stage incubator. At 312 and 430 hours of incubation, all eggs were candled and eggs that were infertile or contained dead embryos were removed. At 432 hours of incubation, treatments were applied using the Zoetis in OvoJect machine. And at 432 hours of incubation, 1 egg from each of the 5 treatment groups on each of the 6 incubator tray levels, so around 30 eggs, were injected with Colidol Coumacy Brilliant Blue, and are euthanized for site of injection and embryo staging analysis. At 432 hours of incubation, site of injection and embryo staging was analyzed. At 522 hours of incubation, hatchability of set eggs, hatchability of live embryonated injected eggs, hatchling body weight, and hatch residue analysis were analyzed. Hatch residue analysis consisted of embryonic mortalities, which include late, pipped, and post-pipped, and hatchling mortality. The experimental design was random complete block design. The procedure that was used was one-way ANOVA, and all data was analyzed using SAS 9.4 with proxlimix. Any differences that were considered significant were at a p-value of 0.05 or less than. The variables that were significantly affected by treatment and that were most relevant are depicted in the following graphs. It was shown that around 93% of the injection location was in the amnion. With embryo staging analysis, it showed that the mean score was 2.17, which is indicative of normal embryonic development. The y-axis shows the units of the variables, and the x-axis shows the 5 different treatment groups, which are also located in the table on the right-hand side and color-coded. The 5 different treatment groups were non-injected, diluent, which only contained the Marek's disease vaccine, 0.6 micrograms per egg of 25-OHD3, 1.2 micrograms per egg of 25-OHD3, and 2.4 micrograms per egg of 25-OHD3. Hatchability of set eggs did not show any significant effect with any treatment, and the p-value was 0.9196. Hatchability of injected live embryonated eggs also did not show any significant differences among the treatments and had a p-value of 0.966. For this graph, the y value is in units of grams, and the x-axis still shows the 5 different treatment groups. 2.4 micrograms and 1.2 micrograms of 25-OHD3 showed an increase in hatchling body weight when compared to the diluent and 0.6 micrograms of 25-OHD3. The p-value was 0.014. .4 micrograms of 25-OHD3 showed an increase in pipped embryonic mortality when compared to 0.6 micrograms and 1.2 micrograms of 25-OHD3. In summary, 2.4 micrograms of 25-OHD3 in combination with Marek's disease vaccine showed an increase in pipped embryonic mortality. 1.2 or 2.4 micrograms of 25-OHD3 in combination with Marek's disease vaccine showed an increase in hatchling body weight. However, hatchability was not significantly affected by any of the treatments. Marek's disease vaccine and 25-OHD3 were compatible and had no adverse effects on hatch. 1.2 micrograms or higher of 25-OHD3 did show an increase in serum 25-OHD3 concentrations, and an ovo injection of 2.4 micrograms had showed an improvement in broiler immunity. The increase in hatchling body weight may be due to the longer half-life of 25-OHD3, its increased serum concentrations, and a subsequent improvement in immunity. Though further research is needed to determine the effects of the combined in ovo injection of different levels of 25-OHD3 and Marek's disease vaccine on small intestine morphology, muscle development, and immunity in broilers. Lastly, I'd like to thank the MSU poultry staff and students, as well as the different corporations. And I am ready to answer your questions.